Look, with literally hundreds of thousands of new malicious programs popping up every single day, it is totally normal to feel a bit uneasy online. But today, we're going to fix that. In this explainer, we're uncovering exactly how operating systems actually secure your data behind the scenes. And more importantly, we're going to advise you on exactly which computer you should buy if you want to finally feel safe on the internet. If you've ever felt vulnerable while browsing, or if you're just worried about your digital privacy, you are in the right place. Let's dive in.
Okay, here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the digital fortress, then look at how operating systems protect, compare OS privacy and security, weigh price versus protection, and wrap up by choosing your ideal computer. All right, part one, the digital fortress. We're demystifying your online vulnerability. You know that creeping feeling of being unsafe online? Well, it doesn't come from nowhere. It's a direct result of being exposed to modern threats. We're talking advanced malware, super deceptive phishing links, and invisible web trackers that literally follow you everywhere you go on the internet. So, you might be wondering, does your choice of operating system really influence how safe you feel? The short answer is an absolute yes. I mean, sure, your personal behavior, like what sketchy links you might click, definitely matters. But your operating system provides the fundamental baseline defense. It completely shapes your actual exposure to threats and dictates just how much peace of mind you can have while navigating the web. This right here brilliantly illustrates how architecture matters. Think of Windows like a sprawling medieval city. It's bustling, it's versatile, and it has this immense market share. But because of that, it naturally tracks the vast majority of consumer malware. It has so many legacy features that it inherently has a huge attack surface with a ton of vulnerable entry points. On the flip side, a system like Chrome OS operates way more like a minimalist fortress. It is built on a streamlined, lightweight kernel. There are only a few essential gates accessible from the outside, which drastically shrinks the target for any malicious actors. Moving right along to part two, how operating systems protect, the hidden mechanics of digital safety. Now, what's really interesting about this is looking past the metaphors to see the actual mechanics. The first major one is called sandboxing. It's exactly what it sounds like, a technique that isolates applications within their own virtual containers, kind of like a digital quarantine. Systems like macOS and Chrome OS rely on this heavily. It basically ensures that if one app or even a browser tab gets compromised by malware, the threat is trapped inside its sandbox. It absolutely cannot break out to steal your personal files or infect the rest of the machine. In contrast, older legacy architectures often let apps share core system resources, which, definitely increases your risk if a breach happens. Then there's verified boot. Think of this as an incredibly strict digital bouncer. Every single time you turn on a device using this feature, like a Chromebook, for example, it performs a deep self-check. It verifies the integrity of the entire operating system before it even boots up. If it detects that any code has been tampered with, it automatically stops and repairs itself, reverting right back to a safe, original factory state. Literally, imagine having a computer that actively heals itself every single time you turn it on. That's a game changer. And we can't forget about how we actually get our software. Apple and Google heavily curate their app stores. It's very much like shopping at a heavily inspected grocery store, where every single item is verified before it hits the shelf. It practically minimizes your risk of downloading a bad app. Windows historically functions more like a massive open-air market. You can download files from virtually anywhere. Now, that gives you unparalleled freedom, for sure, but it also means you might accidentally bring home a digital rat in the form of a rogue.exe file. You really have to rely on third-party security software to stay safe. But hey, security isn't just about how a system is built, right? It's about how long it stays supported. Security has a very real timeline. When an operating system stops getting updates, your vulnerability absolutely skyrockets. For example, Windows 10 hits its official end of life in 2025. And Apple, they are strictly phasing out support for older Intel Mac Minis by 2026. Once those dates pass, going online with those machines becomes a major risk. To put that into perspective, Google's newer policy provides 10 full years of automatic background updates for Chrome OS devices. That kind of longevity is a massive advantage for long-term safety. Okay, part three, comparing OS privacy and security. Telemetry, transparency, and data collection. Security keeps the hackers out, but privacy is all about what the operating system itself is doing with your data.
Let's look at this matrix. It objectively compares the major platforms. So Windows 11 has a notoriously large attack surface, but it tries to mitigate that with hardware tools like TPM 2.0 chips, which is basically a physical vault for your passwords. macOS offers a limited attack surface with strong sandboxing, and it uses this really cool Secure Enclave, a dedicated chip just for keeping your biometric and encrypted data safe. Linux? excellent sandboxing, and unmatched open-source auditability, meaning security experts can actually verify there are no hidden backdoors. And finally, Chrome OS has a minimal attack surface and full sandboxing, thanks to a unique read-only file system that makes it incredibly resilient against your traditional viruses.
But we've got to be real about the privacy trade-offs here, because every platform has a very distinct culture. Apple aggressively promotes privacy as a premium feature, giving you those nice toggles like Ask App Not to Track. Linux offers the most authentic privacy out there. There is literally no corporate entity forcing telemetry or tracking you. On the other hand, Windows and Chrome OS are deeply tied to data collection ecosystems to power their services and ads. So, a Chromebook might be a fortress against local hackers, but in exchange, you're effectively handing your daily habits over to Google's cloud.
Which brings us to Section 4, Price versus Protection. Investing in hardware safety. Let's see exactly how much these different security philosophies are going to cost you right now. €469. That is what you're looking at for the Acer Chromebook Plus 515. Based on our source reviews, this is an absolutely incredible value for budget users. For under €500, you're getting a machine that is virtually immune to traditional malware, plus that guarantee of 10 years of automatic updates. Next up, €488. This is the starting price for an Intel NUC 13 Linux mini PC. Honestly, this is a steal for privacy lovers. You get a machine that offers advanced full-disk encryption where the actual security keys are safely sent to you separately via Proton Mail. It totally bypasses big tech ecosystems for those who want absolute, uncompromising local control. And then we jump to €883. That is what you'll pay for the Lenovo ThinkCentre M70Q Gen 5. Why the big price jump? Well, to secure the inherently larger attack surface of Windows 11 Pro, business users have to pay a premium for hardware-level protections. You're specifically paying for a discrete TPM hardware chip, that physical password vault we mentioned earlier, to make sure local business data stays safe. All right, final section, number 5, choosing your ideal computer, mapping profiles to the perfect hardware. So, the crucial point here is matching your specific daily habits to the right machine. First up, the cloud and budget user. If your digital life exists almost entirely inside a web browser, checking emails, online banking, watching YouTube, we highly recommend the Acer Chromebook Plus 515. It is an affordable, highly secure fortress. You literally do not have to worry about accidentally downloading an infected.exe file, and you won't even have to think about maintenance for a decade.
Next profile, the privacy and open source lover. If you are someone who gets anxious about corporate data harvesting and you just want total transparency over your digital footprint, the Intel NUC 13 Linux mini PC is exactly what you need. It comes pre-installed with transparent operating systems like Linux Mint or Ubuntu. It keeps you completely off the grid of major tech telemetry while giving you incredibly robust local encryption.
Then we have the business user. Look, we know a lot of you literally have to use Windows for compatibility with Office software or work CRM systems. We get it. But if that's you, you absolutely must invest in a machine with strong hardware-level protection. The Lenovo ThinkCentre M70Q Gen 5, with its discrete TPM chip, physically hardens the system. It mitigates those inherent Windows risks and makes it the smart, secure choice for business. And finally, the premium desktop user. For creative professionals or honestly anyone willing to pay a premium for a deeply integrated, highly sandboxed, privacy-respecting setup, the Apple Mac Mini with the M4 chip is the golden standard. Its vertical integration of hardware and software, plus that secure enclave isolating your data, provides a workspace that is both lightning fast and incredibly safe. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to highlight this quote from this source material. It perfectly summarizes everything we've talked about. Absolute 100% safety on the internet? That's an illusion. But practical safety, that is very real. And it comes from choosing the architecture that actually fits your life, your budget, and how much time you actually want to spend maintaining the thing. So I'm going to leave you with this. Take a look at the device you are using to watch this explainer right now. No, really, look at it. Think about how old it is, what operating system it's running, and how it's actually handling your data. Are its gates truly secure, or is it finally time to upgrade your digital fortress? Keep learning, stay secure out there, and we'll see you in the next explainer.